Udja, Uben, Nefer has good rising and great awakenings. Welcome to day 17 of these 21 days of self-care, global prayer, healing post-traumatic slave syndrome with sound. And we certainly are being challenged in these days and times. The Sankofa Step for today, Sankofa Step number 7, Racial Socialization, Cultural Preparation for the Future. And, the last few times that I've been through this step, I had a different perspective than I do now because I'm working on embracing a mystical perspective and outlook on life. And my commentary is that the culture must be spirit-based, not just historically based or because it's always been this way or for tradition. If it's a culture that is just dealing with time and space, then it has to be upgraded or up-leveled. It has to be an experience that will allow us to transcend time and space. If it only deals with our ego personality, then it's only going to lead to more suffering or just more perpetuation of the system or the conditions that we are opposed to. Because we don't need to perpetuate emotional reactions to the situations. The mystical perspective would transcend our emotions and allow us to see clearly and this is where it gets really difficult for me, but I'm working it. We have a spiritual perspective or a mystical perspective. We can see that even though it seems terrible, that we're putting our own judgment on the situation and that everything happens for a reason. And then Ma'at is in everywhere we are. And I'm really striving to keep that in my heart in light of events going on in the world today. Racial socialization is a term or a reaction to our oppression in time and space. And I don't believe that we need racial socialization anymore because that just continues to divide us and it doesn't really address the problem or the issue. Racial socialization is a reaction, and maybe it's something that will keep us alive, as like surviving, like the young man's video about the things his mother taught him so he could stay alive. I guess that's racial socialization.
Don't put your hands in your pockets. Don't put your hoodie on. Don't be outside with no shirt on. Check in with your people. It don't matter even if you're down the street. Don't be out too late. Don't touch anything you're not buying. Never leave the store without a receipt or a bag, even if it's just a pack of gum. Never make it look like there's an altercation between you and someone else. Never leave the house without your ID. Don't drive with a wife beater on. Don't drive with a do-rag on. Don't go out in public with neither. Don't ride with the music too loud. Don't stare at a Caucasian woman. If a cop stop you randomly and start questioning you, don't talk back. Just compromise. If you ever get pulled over, hands on the dashboard, and ask, could you get out your license and registration?
but it's not really going to address the problems. After much reflection, I feel that racial socialization is a reaction to Western oppression, but it's not the response of an enlightened individual or of a royal personality or someone with awareness of their higher self. We want real solutions. We can't continue going to the source of the oppression for the change. It has to begin in our minds and in our hearts, and we have to be willing to move away from things that are comfortable to us. This is really hard to talk about. But that's what I feel. I've been learning about how when you're in a situation that you don't necessarily like or is dangerous or complex, ask, how does this situation lead to my enlightenment? How does the situation lead to my oneness? Or how can this situation help me find my oneness? I don't know. All I know is that there's beauty in all things and a gift in every adversity, and that the purpose of these situations is to lead us to the divine. And to experience love, the love of the divine. So obviously I have a lot more work to do, because that is the mystical perspective and the enlightened mindset. And it's really hard to maintain that during times like these. At least for me, it's really hard. But there's a few more days to this process, and we'll see where I am. Okay, so I'm going to start with the self-care now.